Trump has been president for a few weeks, and a lot has been going on. But I wanted to highlight the one thing that is really important: what is happening with your money. A war is about to break out in Washington, D.C. as Donald Trump prepares to put together the first budget proposal for his new term. As an accountant, I watch the budget committees very closely, so I can let you know what is going on. What I uncovered is going to shock you. If we don't stop this, you're about to be hit with some massive tax increases. A few weeks ago, I uncovered this document. It is a 50-page document released by the House Budget Committee. This contains a list of options that are being considered for the upcoming budget bill, including tax cuts and tax increases. I went through this document, and some of these ideas are insane. Before I start complaining, I do need to admit that some of these things are good. For instance, this one. Limit federal health program eligibility based on citizenship status. This says that the U.S. is currently paying for health care for illegal aliens, and if we stop doing that, we could save $35 billion over the next 10 years. I did not even know this was going on. Why are we paying to give non-citizens health care? Let me see if I understand this. You are taking my tax money and giving it to people who are not even citizens of this country. Yes, can we please stop this? So there are some things in this document that we should implement immediately. I don't know why we were even doing it in the first place. But then there are some other things that I don't know how they got into this document. For example, they are talking about eliminate the home mortgage interest deduction, which would generate $1 trillion in savings over 10 years. This is a massive tax increase for a lot of Americans. When you do your taxes, if you itemize deductions on Schedule A, you are able to take a deduction on the interest you pay on your home. This is good tax policy. We want to encourage people to own property. You can even do remodeling. You could take a home equity line of credit, use it to remodel your kitchen, and then take a deduction on the interest. Again, this is good tax policy because we want people to keep their houses in good condition. The mortgage interest deduction is a great thing. I don't know why they're talking about getting rid of it. There has even been talk in the past of changing it from a deduction to a credit, which would also be good because even more people could benefit. But that's not what the document says. It says to eliminate the deduction. They're going to take it away. This is devastating for homeowners. Imagine if you bought a home, took out a 30-year loan thinking you were going to get a tax deduction, and then halfway through, the government says, "Just kidding, no more tax cuts for you." And then they take it away. Your taxes skyrocket. You can't even sell your home because no one wants to buy because there is no more tax cuts. But this is not even the worst example in the document. Here is one that would eliminate exclusion of interest on state and local bonds for a tax savings of $250 billion. When I read this, my head was literally about to explode. What do these people think they're doing? Let me explain how bad this is. When you fill out your 1040 tax form, you can write in any income you received from tax-exempt state and local bonds. That means you're not going to be taxed on this income. If they remove this exclusion, that means you're suddenly going to be taxed on all of it. This is going to have a huge impact on people who are retired. Even if you don't hold the individual bonds, if you have a pension or an investment fund as part of your 401k, I am 99% sure they are holding some of these bonds. That means the cost is going to trickle back down to you. This is going to affect you. I know of people who their entire retirement is non-taxable bonds. Now, I personally would not recommend that investment strategy, but it works for some people. You get your income and you never have to pay any taxes. But now suddenly, it's all taxable. This is insane. The reason this exemption was created in the first place is that it is good tax policy. You want to exempt state and local bonds because it gives people an incentive to invest in their local communities. This is the money that goes to build your local schools, parks and roads. Now, some people think that getting rid of these bonds will be good because it will mean less government spending. But don't be fooled. That's not what's going on here. All it's going to do is incentivize people to choose federal bonds over state and local bonds. Federal bonds are more attractive because they are backed by the full faith and credit of the U.S. government. So if you had to choose between purchasing U.S. bonds or bonds backed by, say, the state of California, you would choose the federal bonds because California keeps running out of money. But if California bonds are tax exempt, it actually makes sense to get state bonds because they would be less risky. Bottom line, this is a huge tax increase for a lot of Americans. It's going to cost the states who are just going to have to raise your property taxes. So you're going to get a federal tax increase and a state tax increase. You're going to get 2 tax increases. Plus, this will destroy states' abilities to raise money. Consider this. California just had these huge wildfires. How are they going to raise money to rebuild Los Angeles? They're not going to be able to issue bonds at a good rate. All the investment money will go to federal bonds instead. And what are federal bonds used for? Do you remember last year when Congress approved $200 million for a brand new FBI building? That is what they're using the money for. You are not going to be able to get a local school to educate your kids, but the crooked FBI gets a big, fancy new building. I am so mad. How dare they raise all of our taxes? How about you disband the crooked FBI and leave our local bonds alone? What about Doge? Wasn't Elon Musk and Doge supposed to find cost savings? Last week, it came out that Doge did a review of U.S. aid and found some ridiculous things that the U.S. has been spending money on.
Through USAID over the past several years, these are some of the insane priorities that organization has been spending money on. $1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces, $70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland, $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia, $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, I don't want my dollars going towards this crap, and I know the American people don't either, and that's exactly what Elon Musk has been tasked by President Trump to do, to get the fraud, waste, and abuse out of our federal government. Thank you, guys.
We are spending money on what? I'm about to lose my mind. Let us stop spending money on this garbage. Find cost savings by stopping that and keep your grubby politician hands off my state and local bonds. People don't understand what a big deal this is. This is going to crash the bond markets. Every city and every state has issued tax-exempt bonds. They're all going to have to refinance their bonds from non-taxable bonds to taxable bonds all at the same time. The enormous amount of time and money this is going to cost your local communities is insane. It is shocking to me that this is even included in this document as an option. This idea is so stupid. I want to know the name of the person who wrote this into this document. I want to know who did this, because they owe an apology to the American people. I'm unclear who originally drafted this document. Like I said, it came from the House Budget Committee, but I don't think they wrote it. It's titled the Ways and Means Committee in the Congress. Even more interesting, the file is stored on the Senate Finance Committee website, which suggests it comes from the Senate Finance Committee. Clearly, these committees are all working together to craft this legislation. Guess who sits on the Senate Finance Committee? Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, 2 Democrat senators who are strong advocates for raising taxes. Does President Trump know about this? Does he know that these legislators are attempting to raise taxes on everyone? I think a battle is coming. One of the biggest issues from the presidential election was that Trump campaigned that he was going to lower taxes. Meanwhile, the Democrats campaigned that they were going to raise taxes. Now, they claimed they were only going to raise taxes on the rich, but let's look and see what happened. Do you remember when Joe Biden passed the Inflation Reduction Act? Part of that act was that it funded the IRS to hire 87,000 new IRS agents. We were all supposed to feel better about this because Joe Biden promised that the new agents would not be used to audit anyone who makes less than $400,000 per year. Do you remember that? I'm still not entirely sure how that was supposed to reduce inflation. Oh yeah, it turns out it did not reduce inflation at all. Regardless, do you know what all the new IRS agents have been doing? Last August, the Inspector General issued a report to look at just that question. From fiscal year 2019 to 2023, there is basically no change when looking at the number of examinations less than 400K and greater than 400K. There was no increase in audits at all, and the vast majority of audits is still targeting poor people. They are auditing poor people. Of course they are, because poor people don't have the resources to fight back against the IRS. The Democrats lied to you. They lied, they raised taxes, and then they sent the IRS agents after us. And all of us normal people got screwed over again. Trump coming into office was supposed to change that. But someone is putting really horrible tax increases into these documents. I think the Democrats are secretly trying to sabotage Donald Trump. I don't even know if he realizes that these people are out to get him. Someone should tell him about this. If someone does not take out this ridiculous language, you are going to be seeing massive tax increases really soon. And the people that it's going to hurt the most is retirees. I will continue to monitor this situation and let you know what happens. Now I want to hear from you. If you dislike tax increases, let me know in the comments down below. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. Quick update on the channel. It's been a rough month for me. My last 2 videos got demonetized by YouTube, and I don't think there was anything in those videos that was against their policy. It's clear they're just cracking down on conservative channels like this one. If you find these videos helpful, consider signing up to be a channel member on my website, wolvesandfinance.com. For $6 a month, your support helps me to keep making these videos. Thank you to everyone who has signed up. I'm Zach from Wolves and Finance. Thank you for watching.